Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Breaking news tonight: were our electronic voting machine problems in the St. Thomas St. John district really resolved before Election Day? Concerns surrounding that issue stem from the vivote.gov website, where election results from 2010 and 2012 are listed. News2's Erica Bivens brings us this exclusive report.
Marsh Monsanto has written another letter to Board Chair Alicia Wells and Rupert Ross, as well as the election supervisor. This time, she wants a copy of the examination report that proves our voting machines have passed a satisfactory evaluation test.
Because our system has been updated over the years, all I'm looking for is proof that they have been certified since that time.
But Monsanto also wonders if the problem with the voting machines leading up to Election Day was resolved. The machine was not properly recording votes for the St. Thomas St. John Board of Election part of the ballot. It would only allow 3 votes to be cast when voters should be allowed to enter 3 votes for St. Thomas candidates and 1 for a St. John candidate.
I feel that matter of the ballot for the Board of Election is still to be resolved.
A comparison of the 2010 and 2012 general election results from the vivote.gov website shows the 2010 Board of Elections race has a separate category for St. John, whereas the 2012 one combines them all together. The same is true for the ballot, and Lawrence Olive says that's proof the problem was not resolved.
There was a gentleman by the name of Delroy Ital Anthony who launched a write-in campaign, and the machines did not allow him that option of being a write-in candidate. And when you go back to the 2010 election ballot, it shows you where Harry Daniel was the election candidate, and there was an option of write-in.
Harriet Mercer, who was a candidate in that race, is also concerned.
We have asked questions. I have asked questions. I've gotten no response, and I cannot tell whether or not that section was indeed is indeed valid, and so it may just lead to a challenge.
However, board member Harry Daniel reported that he witnessed a successful voting machine test Monday afternoon before Election Day and later certified them that evening. According to VI code, the machine must pass an errorless count before it's approved for use in the election. News 2 asked for a copy Friday, but board chair Alicia Wells could not find one by news time. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
News 2 will continue to investigate. However, election officials did meet on St. Thomas today to count the remaining mail-in absentee ballots. They stated they would wait until 5 o'clock to collect them. Also remaining were stray ballots and 173 provisional ballots. We'll bring you the complete list of updated counts on Monday. Meanwhile, as News 2 previously reported, the Attorney General Vincent Fraser has established a panel to investigate 2012 election cycle voter complaints. And although he expects the panel's findings by the end of the month, a joint federal investigation of the election system could be just a few days off. News 2 first released the information regarding the U.S. Election Assistance Commission's Office of Inspector General teaming up with the U.S. Department of the Interior's Office of Inspector General to begin the audit and how we've spent HAVA or federal funds from 2003 to present. The investigation was scheduled to begin on or about November 19th, which is Monday. The idea of using the existing coal plant on St. Croix to help power WAPA and reduce residents' utility costs is not a new one. And in a recent St. Croix Avis article, the plant's officials said they're ready to work with WAPA to make that a reality. News 2 spoke with WAPA's executive director, Hugo Hodge, about the possibility of a partnership. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
Lower utility costs are what the territory has been asking for, and ways to make that happen is what officials from the Water and Power Authority have been searching for.
We're continuously looking for ways and alternative ways of meeting the needs of the customers, and we look at all energy types and possibilities.
The St. Croix Renaissance Group owns the coal plant on St. Croix's south side, and officials told the St. Croix Avis in a recent article they're willing to fire it up to generate power to sell to WAPA. They said if the plant operated at a minimum of 30 megawatts, they could produce power at a rate of 24 cents per kilowatt hour, which is what it costs WAPA now to generate power. Renaissance said if they ran at full capacity of 60 megawatts, the cost to produce power per kilowatt hour drops to 18 cents.
They listed some prices at 30 and 60 megawatts. We peak on St. Croix at 50 megawatts, so 60 would not be realized anytime in the immediate future. So that price point we wouldn't see as well as we go below 30 at night. So there'd be some price point more than likely higher than that 30 megawatt price point.
It is an option, however, WAPA has considered, although coal is another fossil fuel.
Yes, it's something that's been explored, and I'm sure will be explored again. As I hear, they're attempting to get their permitting in place. That would be one significant hurdle that they will have to get. They've been told that they meet all the requirements, they can get permitting. They have to demonstrate that they can meet all the requirements to the EPA, and the EPA is pretty tough on coal plants right now.
And Director Hodge cautions residents that going to coal would not get rid of the LEAC as reported.
I don't want anybody to think that if you go to coal, you get rid of the LEAC. The LEAC is fuel recovery, so whether that fuel is oil or coal or gas or pet coke or whatever it is, you have to pay for that commodity to be brought in and used in the plant.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
News 2 attempted to contact officials from St. Croix Renaissance Group. Senior Vice President Jack Thomas is off island and unavailable until next week. 30 agencies, including VITEMA and the National Guard, will team up with Royal Caribbean Cruise to exercise Operation Tidebreaker 2. The operation took place on St. Thomas last year and will now take place in Frederiksted to prepare local agencies for all hazards emergencies.
In the town of Frederiksted, it's going to be the scene of a two-day exercise put on by VITEMA and the Virgin Islands National Guard, as well as 30 local and federal agencies.
During this exercise, which will be taking place on the 19th and 20th of November, my unit, the 23rd CST, will be engaged with the fire department and other CSTs throughout the nation. We're actually going to board the vessel. It's going to test our capability to respond via marine, vessel, land, and via air.
We anticipate supporting the Virgin Islands Police Department in security, as well as testing some of our protocols and procedures that we want to put in place in the event we are activated in support of any emergencies.
It's a test to determine our capabilities, what needs to be improved upon as we proceed to protect the people of the Virgin Islands.
And News 2 will have highlights of the operation. Turning our attention stateside, Palestinian militants aimed a rocket at Jerusalem, setting off air raid sirens across the holy city. Israeli police say the rocket landed in the West Bank, about 10 miles from Jerusalem, and there were no injuries. CBS's Monica Villamizar reports from London on the escalating border battle.